May, cycling company Peloton became, well, a unicorn with a round of funding valuing it at $1.25 billion. Here to discuss the future of cycling and, of course, the marketing strategy behind it is Carolyn Tisch Blodgett, Senior Vice President of Brand Marketing at Peloton, and Jason Harris, President and CEO of Mekanism, the ad agency creating Peloton's latest ads. Thank you guys so much for both being here today. Carolyn, I want to start with you, though. Yeah. Overall, about Peloton, we know you guys raised more than $325 million in this past Series E round. How exactly are you using those funds to really help grow the Peloton brand?
Absolutely. So yes, we just closed our Series E financing a few weeks ago, and we're really excited. The Peloton has just taken off. We are growing over 300% year over year. So a lot of the funding is being used to just support that subscriber growth. But we're also always looking at new products we can be entering, new content we can be offering. We just launched our yoga series a few months ago. So we are really, we started as a bike company, but we are really thinking of ourselves as a tech company revolutionizing the entire fitness industry. So there'll be a lot more of that to come in the future.
And in terms of growing and engaging more consumers, I'm sure advertising probably has played a big role in that. So the Hello, Let's Go, that was a specific campaign that we saw on TV. What was the goal of that, and what did you see what were the successes out of that?
Yeah, that's a campaign that we collaborated very closely with the team on, and really the purpose behind that was to show the at-home experience and the intensity of a workout, which you really have to experience. So we did the best we possibly could to bring that to life through a campaign that is online and in social and on TV.
Mm-hmm. All over the place.
Yes,
and we really liked it. We used Blitzkrieg Bach by the Ramones to really give it that energetic feel behind the spot.
Well, I know Mekanism specifically, you guys work with a huge list, a huge roster list when it comes to these top companies like Pepsi, like HBO, just to name a few. How important is it, though, with this Peloton campaign in terms of the partnership and collaborating in order to really get this creative process absolutely right?
Yeah, this was a little trickier to get perfectly right than, say, an HBO, which is a simple entertainment brand, a very popular entertainment brand that everybody knows. Peloton is really rewriting the rules at home fitness, so we had to really think about how to communicate that in a different way, and no one knows the brand better than Carolyn's team, so we had to really work very closely. It's almost as if we wrote and created the ad together.
Carolyn, talk to us about how important digital is to Peloton, right? With so many people maybe viewing this, whether it's live or on demand, they're viewing it in many circumstances from the convenience of their home, in addition to some of your studios. How important is that digital component to your business?
Absolutely. So digital has always been a key part of our success and our marketing strategy. I think for us, for something like Peloton, which is a considered purchase, people don't just see one ad on TV and then immediately go buy the product. They might see an ad somewhere, they might go to our retail stores, they might hear about it. Often they hear about it from a friend, but then they want to know more and they want to learn more about the product and understand a little bit more about it. So we often use digital to kind of complete that story and tell different aspects of the product, because there's, one of the challenges for Mekanism was there's so much to tell about Peloton in 30 seconds or in 60 seconds. So we use digital really as a complement there to tell different parts of the Peloton story.
Well, and how does Mekanism do that specifically in this sort of, it's an ad space, but how do you really do that? Because Peloton really speaks to not just the people that want to work out at home. Obviously that's the goal, to get the people to buy these bikes, but there are people that still like to go to the gyms and take these group cycling classes, and how do you speak to both sides of that?
Yeah, that's a good point. We really had to show through the communication the connected experience, because really what makes Peloton so different is you're riding, hence the name Peloton, you're riding with a group of riders, and so you're riding with either live in a studio at home, or you're riding on demand with other riders and you're tracking your progress. So it was really about, that's why the cuts between rider to rider shows the connectingness of the technology, and that was really important to show.
One of the things that's interesting about Peloton that I didn't know until I joined was that 8 out of 10 people that buy a Peloton bike weren't in the market for a home fitness equipment. So this is not your typical person going and saying, I'm building a gym in my big house, now which bike should I put in? These are people that never thought about really working out at home because they want that energy and connectedness, as Jason said, of the home, of the boutique fitness experience. But this is the first time we're actually actually bringing that home to them. So these are really people that didn't even know that they wanted this product that are now going and buying it.
So, and then in terms of establishing that, right, and then also pairing it with an advertising campaign, was there market research that went in to maybe suggest that even though people weren't explicitly asking for an in-home biking service, that you were able to deduce that this is something that would work out well?
So when the product was originally created, our founder, John Foley, it was really his own insights that led to the creation of the product. So he loved boutique fitness classes. He lives in New York. He would go to them all the time, and then he had 2 kids, and him and his wife just found that it really wasn't actually that convenient to be able to go to the gym to be able to go to these classes all the time. And it was also really expensive, because thinking about 2 people in your home going to these classes all the time. So that's how he came up with the product, and it was really his own consumer insights. Since then, of course, we've done some additional research on the side. We did research in creating this spot, but I think we know our consumer so well because our founders really were that consumer that we're reaching.
Well, Peloton is also targeting event programming such as the French Open, which you know is going on right now. Obviously the Tour de France round, doubling down on your media efforts for spring and summer to the tune of about $10 million. What else does that media strategy consist of?
Yeah, so we do have a wide range. We do traditional TV, as you just mentioned. As you talked about before, we have a ton of digital, and then we're also always experimenting with new things. So right now, we just launched our 20th retail showroom in Denver, and we did a lot of media around that. So we had a mobile billboard that was going around getting the word out about Peloton. We had traditional out of home. We had radio. We're always kind of experimenting with new things, and that's kind of the beauty of being a tech company, is that we're never going to rest on our laurels and just kind of follow a traditional path. We'll always be testing new strategies.
Looking at experiential and getting people on the bike. It's really important.
And Jason, and we heard too that you really, brought out the chops for this, right? Using a cinematographer that worked on Batman Begins.
Yes, Dark Knight Rises and Inception, Wally Pfister, and really why he was drawn to the project, because it's hard to get a cinematographer from features to do a TV campaign oftentimes. He was drawn to it because we wanted to create, he does high intensity film, and so we wanted to create that high intensity workout, and so that's why he was drawn to the project, so we were lucky to get him.
And how long did it take you guys to actually really shoot the entire project?
Shooting was over a couple days, and then editing was maybe 2 weeks, and that was kind of the whole project. But leading up to that, we probably presented like 20 different ideas, and then you whittle those ideas down, you test those ideas, you see which one rises, and then you go out and start producing it.
All right, there you have it. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. That's Carolyn Tisch Blodgett.
Thanks for having us.
Senior Vice President of Brand Marketing over at Peloton, and Jason Harris, President and CEO of Mekanism.
All right, coming up, the resource that may help you find the perfect tech company for your investment. But first, some headlines from our friends